Hey guys, I'm Steff and welcome back to my beauty stash. Today we are trying out the brand new eyeshadow palette from Huda Beauty. This is her brand new Naughty Nude eyeshadow palette. This little beauty has 18 shades with 5 different formulas. Now I am going to show you some live swatches of this palette, and then I'm going to, of course, show you what it looks like in natural lighting on my fair to light skin tone, and I'll take you through each of the shades, and during the swatch portion of the video, I will explain the different formulas that are in here. But guys, the shade that I think everybody is curious about, and this was definitely the selling point for me, is this shade right here, which is Slippery. Now, as you can see, there's like little bubbles, not bubbles, like little balls, or I don't know what we would call them. Pearls is what we would call them. I forgot what it was for a minute, but pearls. This is like a gloss pearl formula. Yeah, pearl gloss hybrid to be exact. So I'm gonna swatch all of these for you. This palette retails for $67 at Sephora. I picked it up in store. It is available online and in store, and I believe it's available already on the Huda Beauty website as well as some of her other retailers. And I will have this palette linked in the description box to Sephora, and of course other items that I'm using on my face, I will have them linked in the description box as well. Some of them might be affiliated links, so if you end up shopping through those links, I thank you so much for supporting me and my channel. So guys, right after I take you through swatches of this gorgeous palette, I'm going to be creating 2 different eye looks for you guys, and then of course I will give you my final thoughts, my review over the brand new Huda Naughty Nude eyeshadow palette. If you want to see all the details of this new beauty, keep on watching. All right guys, so let's take a closer look at this new Huda Beauty Naughty Nudes palette. This is an 18 pan eyeshadow palette, and you do get 5 different formulas. So you're going to be getting 8 matte shades. You're also going to get 5 high shine metallics. You're going to be getting 3 multi-reflective shimmer cream marbles, 1 matte cream marble, and 1 sheer pearly gloss hybrid. I'm going to start swatching the top row. This is the shade Filthy. This is the shade Passion. This is the shade Shameless. This is the shade Please Me. This is the shade Hypnotic. And this is the shade Hard. That is the first row of the Naughty Nude palette. Let's move on to the second row. This is the shade Untamed. This is Irresistible. This is Flower Power. This is the shade Rough. This is the shade Spicy. And this is the shade Arouse. Now let's move on to the last row. This is that special shade Slippery. It feels very moist. This is Tantric. This is Naughty. This is Provocative. This is Desire. And last but not least, we have the shade Juicy. And they're all the shades in the new Huda Beauty Naughty Nude palette. This is Indoor Lighting on a fair to light skin tone. To prime my eyelids, I've already gone in with some of the e.l.f. Putty Eye Primer. All right, guys, so we have quite a lot of shades to choose from here. Obviously, the shade Slippery, I cannot go in with it first since it's more of like a topper, like a gloss topper. So let's see, what do we want to do first? I think I'm going to go in with the shade Untamed right here. This is a matte shade. I'm going to start working that in my crease. Wow, that is very pigmented. Don't know that I'm going to bring it all the way in. Just going to kind of focus it out here and ever so slightly blending it upwards. And the brush that I'm using to do this blending with is a Refer number 1. Now I'm going to go in with the shade Filthy, and I'm going to work that on the inner portion of the eye. I am placing it on the eyelid as well, kind of just below that first shade, but really just focusing it on this inner portion. I'm going to take a little bit of that same shade and kind of apply it up here to soften this edge up and just kind of bring it out. Now I'm going to go in with Spicy and focus that on the outer portion of the eyelid, mainly like on the corner. Same Refer brush number 1. Really just deepen up that outer crease, that outer corner, keeping it really close to that crease, not really blending it upward. Ever so slightly outward, just like that. Really defining the crease right here. Now I'm going to clean off the brush, same brush. This is in the core set that is still on sale. I'll have a link, not an affiliated one, in the description box in case you're interested in picking it up. This is my first time trying Refer brushes. And I can honestly say, guys, it's been a great experience. I think we have a nice base going on. 3 different matte shades in the palette. Now, I really want to use one of these marble shades, and I'm going to go in with this one right here, which is the shade Passion. This one swatched really nice as well. I'm going to apply that with my finger. That's what it looks like. I also want to try applying this one damp. See what kind of payoff we get. It's going to spray my brush and then go in with that shade. Yeah, I think I like this shade better with a damp brush. I'm getting some fallout with that shade. Didn't get any with the matte shades though. This is a beautiful shade. Really, really nice. Okay. Same little brush. This is a Sephora brush. Actually, no, this is a Morphe M205, but I believe this one is discontinued, but you can always find this style like anywhere. e.l.f. has them, BH has them. Let's go into this other marbled shade, and this one is Flower Power. The brush is not damp. It's kind of already dried off. Just gonna place that right in here. Yeah, not really liking that. Let's spray the brush. I don't know. I don't like that. I don't like that shade at all. Let me try my finger. Oh, much better with your finger, but since this is such a small area, I didn't want to have to use my finger, but much better with the finger. That marbled shade. Actually, I think both of the marbled shades that I used, probably better with your finger. I'm gonna add a little bit more passion, just right in here to kind of blend them together. I'm gonna add a little bit of spicy, which is this darker shade right here, just to kind of intensify it again. All right, let me do some work on the lower lash line. I'm gonna use the same matte shades that I used earlier, which were Filthy and Untamed. They were the first two shades that I used. I'm gonna work that on the lower lash line. Now I'm gonna add a little bit of Flower Power to my brow bone. Adding a little bit of Flower Power down here as well. All right, guys, so I'm going to throw on some eyeliner, a little bit of mascara, and then I will show you guys look number one. All right, guys, so this is look number one. I added a little bit of this ColourPop Cream Gel Liner, and this is in the shade Charmer. And then I also went in with some of the Huda Beauty Legit Lashes. I really love this mascara. It is a double-sided mascara, and actually reviewed it over the summer, so I'll have that linked up above. But I like the look. I like the way it came out. Wasn't too crazy about this Flower Bomb shade, but we managed to make it work. Now let's jump over and do look number two. So for look number two, I want to do something a little bit more warm toned. So I am going to start off with the shade, let's see, I'm going to go in with Juicy right here. And I'm going to use that same Refer number one brush and just start applying that to my crease. Wow, this is super pigmented. Didn't think it was gonna come off this dark, but I am not mad about it. I do like that these mattes, they all blend out really well. And they blend into each other really well too. Now I'm gonna go in with this shade right here. This one is Arouse. Same Refer number one brush. Just gonna be working it a little bit lower than where I applied that first shade, and even on this outer portion. I really like that shade. That shade is pretty. Now I want to blend up a little bit, like towards my brow bone, and I'm going to go in with this shade right here, which is called Hypnotic. I'm using the same Refer number one brush. This brush, I tell you guys, it's like so multitasking. And I'm going to work it right up here. Very, very light pressure. Just kind of blending it outwards as well. Right, now I want to deepen up the outer corner, and I'm going to go in with the shade Naughty. Same Refer number one brush. Isn't it great when you can use just one brush to do your entire eye look? That is always a bonus for me, because I'll be honest, guys, sometimes I don't know what brush to use for certain things. And when I find a brush that I can do like the entire eye look with, why not? I'm going to be bringing Naughty in a little bit more. All right, now I want to go in with, let's see, actually, you know what? I want to use this marbled shade right here, and this is a matte shade, and this is the shade Hard. So I'm going to use, I'll change brushes. I'm going to use a Refer number 14 brush, and I'm going to pick up some of that shade, and I'm going to apply that on the inner portion. I'm also going to apply some on my lid. Actually, that would have been a good crease color. It's actually a nice shade. It's a nice shade on its own too, with just maybe this and one of the nice shimmer metallic shades that are in the palette. Yeah, I like that shade. That's a unique shade. Now I'm going to go in. I do want to use Slippery on the eye. Gosh, I don't know if we should do Slippery right now or on top of one of the other shades. Let's go in with Tantric right here, and then we'll go in with Slippery on top of it, and let's see how that's gonna work. Now I'm gonna apply Tantric with my finger, and I remember that this swatched really well. I'm gonna just focus that right now on the center. It's such a pretty shade. All right, now let's go into Slippery. And guys, that's what it looks like on my finger. And I'm gonna do it like right in here, this inner portion. Oh, you see how it's just taking away the shimmer? Look at that. It just like ate up the shimmer. I don't like that. This was the shade I was most excited about, and look at that. It just takes it all away. I'm gonna put it back, but wow. I guess it does have its place. Let me try now applying Tantric on top of it. Go back in. So at least it's working kind of like as an eye primer, because it does have some tackiness to it. What do y'all think? I was most excited for that shade, and I don't know, I'm a little disappointed by it. I guess I just expected something different. But I mean, it's not terrible, but it's not like, I don't know. Let's do the lower lash line, and I'm going to go in with Hard right here. I want to see what that looks like on its own. This is almost like a brownish mustardy color. I love a shade like that. I'll go back in with Tantric in the inner corner. I'm gonna go back in with Flower Power, the one I used on the brow bone on this side. I'm gonna spray my brush. Just add a little bit up here, same as the other eye. All right, yeah, let me go ahead and pop on some eyeliner and the same mascara, and then I'll be back to show you the second look and to give you my final thoughts on the new Huda Beauty Naughty Nude eyeshadow palette. All right, guys, so this is look number 2. I added a little bit of this Tardiest eyeliner. This is in the shade Brown, and it's a dual-ended eyeliner. This side is the pencil, and then this other side is the marker style. And then on my waterline, I added another ColourPop cream gel liner, and this is the shade Honey Dude. Alright guys, so I've had my eye on this palette ever since I saw it on Instagram, and I knew I wanted to pick it up primarily to try out the different eyeshadow formulas that are in here, because you are getting 5 different eyeshadow formulas. Now, the color story of the palette, it's a pretty color story, but it is a neutral color story, and it is nothing new to the market either. I'm sure you have a lot of these shades in some of your other palettes, and I'm going to show you some of the other palettes that have similar color stories to this. Keep in mind, guys, this is a $67 eyeshadow palette, so it is not cheap by any means. Now, let me go ahead and speak on the performance of the shadows because, of course, in addition to swatching them, I did use quite a few of them to create these two eye looks. Now, the shade I think everybody is curious about, and what kind of lured me in was the shade right here, which is Slippery, which is definitely unique in what it looks like, but kind of left something to be desired. I was disappointed with the shade. I don't know what I was expecting. I guess, I don't know. I honestly don't know what I was expecting. I was just expecting something better than what it turned out to be. This is basically like a gel, like an eyeshadow topper, like a gloss. And then it has those pearls in there that give it that reflect color. I don't know, guys. Maybe just on a bare eyelid, this would look better. It might even look better on a deeper skin tone than mine. But it is more of like a gloss, okay? So you saw that I did go in on this eye with the shade, and I laid Tantric down first, which is that beautiful shimmer shade, gorgeous shade. And then I applied this, and it immediately took away Tantric. Like Tantric just poof, just vanished. And then I added Tantric back, and it did adhere a little bit better because this shade Slippery does have like a tackiness to it. So you can use it as you please, but just know that if you do want to lay shadows on top of it, it is going to have that little bit of a tacky base. So kind of maybe consider using it to apply shimmers on top of it, or some of these metallic shades on top of it, because I do think that it worked great in that sense. Now, it's still visible like right in here, and I guess it looks okay. I'm just gonna have to keep playing around with it some more, but first impressions of it, I really wasn't that impressed. So now let's talk about the matte shades. You are getting 8 different matte shades in this palette, and they blend beautifully. They are pigmented, they are creamy, they are smooth. I mean, these are nice matte shades. I guess if I was looking at the entire palette, the only 2 shades I was really disappointed with were Slippery and this one right here, which is Flower Power. This is the one I have on my brow bone. This one works better with your fingertip or if you dampen your makeup brush. But I just thought that is one of those marbleized shades. I just thought it could have packed a better punch. But overall, guys, the rest of the shades in here, they do blend out beautifully and they are pigmented. I think one of my favorite shades of the palette is this shade right here. And this is the marbleized matte shade. And this is in the shade Hard. I also liked this shade right here, which is Arouse. I also thought that these 2 darker shades, which is Spicy and Untamed over here, I thought those were really nice outer corner shades. And also you can apply them to the eyelid, kind of do a smoky look. Tantric, really pretty. Shameless, swatched really nice, as did Desire up here, and so did this one. Actually, all of the shimmers, metallics in here, they swatched really, really well. So guys, for this being an 18-pan palette, and for me only being like, about 2 shades, I think Huda did a pretty good job with it. Again, this is a neutral palette. It is a typical neutral palette. So if you feel like you're lacking this in your collection, then definitely consider picking it up. The Sephora sale is going on right now, and of course I took advantage of that. And with taxes here in Texas, it came out to $58. I did pick it up in store today. Today is Sunday at Sephora. And guys, let me talk about the packaging. I can't believe I haven't talked about the packaging, but obviously you get a full-size mirror in here, and I still have like the plastic on mine, but this is a nice heavy-duty plastic, really nice burgundy cover on here with the word Naughty and Nude in the background, and of course Huda Beauty down here. It's relatively lightweight, guys, and this is the size of it. If I hold it up here next to my head, this is a nice palette, guys. Like, it is a pretty palette. It's just going to be up to you whether you feel that this nude palette with their 5 different formulas warrants your $67 or not. Now, what if you're looking at this palette and you're thinking, you know what? That's not for me. I don't want to spend $67 on that palette. It's just, I don't know, maybe there's something about it that you're not really drawn to. I think if you're going to shell out 60 bucks on a palette, consider getting one of the Natasha Denona palettes. This is the latest release. This is the Glam palette. Obviously, very different color story, but this is also a neutral palette, and this is obviously a cool tone neutral palette. This retails for $65 on Sephora. If you want more of a warm tone, this is the Natasha Denona Bronze palette. This is a gorgeous palette. Probably a little more similar in shade to this Naughty Nude palette. And let me hold these up together so you can see them. But there they are right there. So you can see kind of similar, yet still very different, but both around the same price point. Now, as far as, let's see, what else do I have over here? I have a couple ABH palettes that if you have in your stash already, you probably already have some of these Naughty Nude shades. So ABH Norvina Volume 4. This came out earlier this year. This is more of like a pink toned palette, but you definitely have those shimmers in there. And I pulled this out because there are some pinkish tones in here as well. And let me just hold these up so that you can see them. You have some slight similarities. Obviously, this one is brighter, but if you still want those bright shades while still having some nice neutrals to anchor it with, then you would go with the ABH Norvina Volume 4. If you're more into these neutral, warmer tones, then obviously you would want to go for the Huda Naughty Nude palette. Now, let me show you the Amazing palette from ABH, because this has some of those similar shimmer formulas. While this one has pressed glitters, the Huda does not. And so there are those palettes right there. Really, really similar, but still very different. Obviously, in the Amazing palette, you have that bright pink and that bright blue in there as well. Now, if you have the Too Faced Natural Nudes palette, which is a really, really nice palette, then you also have something very similar to the Huda palette. I also pulled out this Dominique Cosmetics Berries and Cream palette, which is really, really pretty palette. I love Dominique Cosmetics eyeshadow palettes. Similarities, differences. Obviously, you have another pop of blue in here and that little fuchsia lilac color at the top, but still really, really similar. And then I also pulled out two BH Cosmetics palettes, and actually they are from the Ho Ho Holidays collection. This one is the Nice palette. This is a Nice palette and the Naughty Nude palette next to each other. And then I also pulled out the other Naughty palette. Now I have two Naughty palettes. And this is also from BH Cosmetics. It's going to be hard for me to get these in frame, but you can kind of see there are some similarities there. Obviously, this BH Cosmetics palette, this one retails for like $28 or $29, and the little one retails for $12, I believe. So there's a significant price difference there. And then, guys, if you're just not wanting some of these neutral shades, if you want more pops of color, if you want more pops with shimmer, and you're okay paying the $67, maybe be okay with paying a few dollars more and take a look at the Pat McGrath Celestial Divinity palette. Now, these aren't really similar in color stories, but they are similar in price point and in quality. So I did want to point it out just in case you feel like you need some more color representation. Then you can take a look at maybe getting the Celestial Divinity, and you do have some similarities there. I mean, you can see some of them are similar, but yeah, I mean, I would also consider maybe picking up the Pat McGrath. I've been really happy with it, and I don't own any of the larger size Pat McGrath palettes. So for me, this was a nice way to try more from her brand while getting it at an affordable price. But overall, guys, I mean, I don't think you're going to be disappointed with this palette. The palette performed. The only two shades that were a little underwhelming, and kind of like a disappointment for me was the shade Slippery, because I bought this palette based on that one shade alone. So when I didn't see it performed the way I was expecting it to, that was a little disappointing. But nevertheless, guys, I think it is a beautiful palette, perfect for this time of year, and I don't think you'll be disappointed with any of the other shades that are in this palette. It really is well thought out, and Huda did another great job with her palette. Alright guys, so that completes today's video. I want to thank you guys so much for watching another one of my videos. You all have a great day or night wherever it is you all are at. Stay hydrated, guys. Drink your water. Cheers, and I will see you all very soon. Bye.